What is going on, guys? Supcharls, and today we're talking about this Counterspy gameplay that you will be watching for today, because originally this was supposed to be a live commentary. The thing is though that my PC halfway through when I played it or something like that, it would freeze and restart itself, so the footage that I pretty much recorded and all that sort of stuff was lost in the Elgato at least, so I had to share it, and then from there I just recorded from the rest of it where it worked fine. So what you will be seeing for today is just gonna be some Counterspy gameplay instead with a pre-recorded commentary, and talk about some gaming news that happened actually last week, because there were a lot of things that happened. I just haven't really been able to make a commentary and edit it due to Life is Strange Before the Storm with the bonus episode that I had to deal with for the Vapes channel that I'm gonna start up soon, depending on when I upload this video. And the reason why I, by the way, played Counterspy to begin with, because I played it a few weeks ago, it was because Jimmy B suggested it to me, trying it out and I guess see how it was. It was something that I said I would try out. I think it was in mid-January he suggested it, so it took me a little while, but eventually I did try it. So now that I have tried it, I might as well just give my quick thoughts about it before I go into the news, because it was supposed to be a live commentary at the end of the day. So basically Counterspy is actually really fun. I got reminded a little bit about Splinter Cell Blacklist for some reason with the melee stealth attack stuff, and the soundtrack itself is actually also pretty decent. The thing is though that they will be shutting down the online service for the game, where you can beat your friend's score or something like that and then get one specific trophy, which I forgot the name of, but you pretty much have to beat a friend's score, then you have to play another mission and find his dead body and gather the intel he now got. I think that was how it worked, and then you can get a trophy, which will be something that you can't do after June 1st, I believe was the date that they would shut that down as a feature. So I'm happy that I at least got to try that out now, and I didn't wait forever to do that. But with that said, the game is still really decent. Gameplay is pretty fun. I think it would be really nice to play on the go, at least with the Vita or something like that. I don't really know if I would play it a whole lot, but it is actually a really decent game. So yeah, that was pretty much the impressions I got out of it. Another reason why I tried it out was also because I already owned the game from PS Plus. I wouldn't really buy this on my own just like that, even though it did look somewhat interesting back at the day when I saw the first trailer for it, but I never really cared too much about it. Sort of like a game like Entwined or something like that. It looks really interesting to me, but I doubt I would pay for it and actually sit down and play it just like that. So yeah, that was Counterspy at least. I will not be doing a full walkthrough of the game or something like that. I would just use this current stuff that I recorded and then move on to the next thing. But it's sad that I couldn't really make a live commentary out of it as I had planned to begin with. Anyways, let's move on to the gaming news, because a lot of things happened last week. So I'm gonna start off with the more less interesting stuff that isn't really too big, and then move on to the next more big things. So starting off with the first gaming news is actually that God of War has gotten a PS4 Pro limited edition console announced, and I really thought that it looked pretty nice, and it was obviously taken from Kratos' axe as an inspiration there. It certainly looks nice, and I certainly can't wait until the game now launch and all that sort of stuff, and see how the story is gonna turn out to be, because it really looks interesting with the new approach to the series. But yeah, that was God of War at least with the PS4 Pro. Moving on is Horizon Zero Dawn. Last week it celebrated alongside it with Nier Automata, I think that's how you pronounce it. Those two games celebrated their 1-year anniversary or release date, which was pretty exciting as well. I didn't really play Nier myself, so I don't really know much about it, but I do know about Horizon Zero Dawn, and how they celebrated it was pretty much share a photo with some statistics about the game and how many of these different machines that has been killed, which I in general think is pretty interesting to see, not just with Horizon Zero Dawn, but in general with different game franchises or something like that. So I think it was pretty interesting to see that Horizon Zero Dawn shared those kinds of stats. And Nier, I think it was something with the soundtrack. I could be wrong here, I can't really remember, but I did read a quick tweet about it, and I think that should be the celebration there. Could be wrong, I don't know, but it's still nice to see that it's already been 1 year since those two games launched. Moving on to the next thing is Life is Strange also came out last week with the Before the Storm, with the bonus episode Farewell, and the physical releases of the limited and the vinyl or vinyl, or however you now pronounce the word in English. But yeah, those two editions as well physical wise came out, but I'm pretty sure I also mentioned that on my last commentary, so I won't really go into much detail. But the next thing is also Crash Bandicoot, another thing that I thought was pretty nice to see come back finally again for the PlayStation platform first at least. It is gonna get a release for all the other platforms, so Nintendo Switch, PC and Xbox One, and that is something I thought was pretty nice to see. I really would love to probably pick it up for the Nintendo Switch as well, because I think it would be a nice game to play on the go. I did have the original trilogy on my Vita with the PS1 classics, and I did have some quick fun times playing it on the go, so I wouldn't mind nowadays have a Switch with Crash 1, 2 and 3 to play on the go as well, so that would be nice. But I doubt I would be picking it up for the PC and the Xbox since I already own it on PlayStation. So yeah, nice to see that it is at least coming for the other platforms as well, and hopefully Activision will be bringing more Crash games in the future, because I did enjoy the Crash games nevertheless, even though I'm really bad at them. Moving on, next thing is also the Batman series from Telltale Games with their season 2. They have announced a final release date for their final season finale episode. That is something that I thought was interesting to mention, because I really enjoyed the story so far at least. Telltale Games usually have some pretty decent stories to me, so I look forward to it. It will be coming out on March 27th, which isn't too far away from now. The next thing is actually also some quick other games that has been announced. Hello Neighbor, which is a game that is currently available on the PC and Xbox, I believe. I'm not really sure with the Switch if it was gonna come there or if it already is out there, but it is basically gonna come for the PS4 now this summer. I don't really know release date because I believe they didn't announce any, but it's nice to see that that is finally gonna come out for the PS4 as well. Then we also have Little Nightmares, another game that is already out for PC, Xbox and PlayStation. Is actually gonna come for the Nintendo Switch, which is also a nice game to probably have for me, at least on the Switch on the go, because I did think that Little Nightmares was a pretty cute and charming game for some reason back at the day when I saw the trailers and all that sort of stuff. So I'm happy to see that it is also gonna come out for the Nintendo Switch, and the release date was May 18th, so that isn't too far away. At least it's coming out before the summer holidays will begin and all that sort of stuff, so maybe I'll pick it up, I don't know, but I certainly do look forward to it alongside with Crash for the Nintendo Switch. And then that should be all the games being announced currently, for last week at least, that I thought was interesting. So let's move on to the next thing. Fortnite. It's a game that I don't really play too much of. It's not because it's a bad game or anything, but I just don't enjoy Battle Royale and all that sort of stuff in general, so it isn't really my thing too much. But I still thought this news was interesting because it has been announced that Fortnite would be coming to the mobile platforms now. I'm a bit surprised that even mobile platforms can run a game like Fortnite now. I do know that China had a PUBG clone for their mobile platform over there. I'm not sure if it's available for the rest of the world or something, but it is nice to see that Fortnite is at least also coming to the mobile platform, and hopefully it will be running smoothly and the controls won't be too bad to play with and all that sort of stuff, because when I play games on my phone, it's not always that enjoyable because of the controls sometimes being a little bit hard to get used to for me, especially FPS games when playing that on my phone. So I usually don't really play too much, but I'm happy to see that it will at least come out for the mobile platform Fortnite. I think it could be nice to maybe try out, I don't know, just to see how it is. But it would be starting off with the iOS as a platform, I believe. I'm not really too sure here with the beta testing and all, but I think it was something like that. I didn't really look into it that much, but what I have been looking into quickly has also been the crossplay feature between PC, Xbox, PlayStation and the mobile devices. Is something that is a thing currently where Sony don't want to have crossplay with the Xbox console and all that sort of stuff. So apparently it's gonna be Xbox can play with PC and mobile, while PlayStation can play with PC and mobile as well, but just as a whole, PlayStation and Xbox can play with each other, which is a bit weird. But yeah, that was Fortnite. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 had a update recently where they introduced Infected as a game mode, which I've tried. I didn't really like it too much. I wasn't much for the fact that you could use your own custom classes, because personally I rarely run scavenger on my own classes, so I ran out of ammo really quickly. And also just in general that you can use your specialist ability. I don't know if I like that idea, given that if you are infected and I actually run the kinetic armor, you can actually just activate it and survive for a few more bullets and actually get enemies. I've been lucky enough to do that the few times I've played it, and I felt like it was kind of unfair. But then again, if it is a thing that you can do, then I guess it is alright. I don't know, but to me it just felt a little unfair when I did get to kill the enemies. But nevertheless, I don't really like the infected mode too much. I wish that they would add some pre-built classes just like Modern Warfare 3 did. Ghost and Advanced Warfare did as well. I think Infinite Warfare did also. So yeah, that would be nice to see them take that approach instead. But then again, it is the first time Treyarch has done this, so maybe they will improve on it down the road someday if it will be a permanent thing. Then they also introduced a lot of winter themed stuff like camos and gear, I believe, and also a winter themed redwood map, which I thought was pretty interesting, even though I hate redwood and I don't really like any of the base map games in Black Ops 3 at all, except maybe Combine, which I thought was okay. I thought that Redwood winter theme wise was a bit more enjoyable compared to the original, and it was actually a decent map, sorta like Beach Bog and Bog in Modern Warfare Remastered. I didn't like Bog to begin with because of the map being too dark or whatever, I don't know. But when I tried out Beach Bog, for some reason I really fairly enjoyed it slowly with time, and now I really wish that it was just Beach Bog as a permanent thing instead of the normal one. And same thing can be said for something like Wetwork. It is a really good map to me, but I just don't like that it is so dark and rainy and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, it has to, I guess, resemble the campaign mission, so it would make sense. But I think if they changed the weather and all that sort of stuff, I would like the map so much more. But that's a side thing. They also added a fan favorite sniper, I guess, from Black Ops 2. I don't really know, since I barely sniped there, but they pretty much added the XPR 50 sniper as well into the game. I'd hope that they would someday announce that the SCAR and the MP7 would come into the game. I would totally want that instead. But nevertheless, I'm happy to see that Black Ops 3, even though it is 3 years old, it is still getting support from Treyarch. It is nice to see that. And then we move on to the next thing, also Call of Duty Black Ops related, obviously with Black Ops 4 being confirmed now in development, which they only showed a teaser for with the previous installments and quick Black Ops 4 logo. I just hope it will be modern era, and hopefully it will be. I don't know, but currently I will probably not look that much into it, because I will probably get my excitement crushed when I see the reveal trailer or something if I expect something completely different. So I don't really want to look into it that much, except that it is actually Black Ops 4 that has been confirmed, which I wish it wasn't, because in my opinion Black Ops 3 pretty much ruined the story from 1 and 2 and had no connection there. So I don't really know how they will connect 4 with 1 and 2, or just connect it with 3 or something like that. I don't know, but it will be interesting nevertheless. And yeah, I just had really hoped that they would start off a new series, but maybe that's just me who wants that. I see it a lot from Infinity Ward now, for example, with Ghost and Infinite Warfare, and I'm sure their next game next year, that is going to be a new series as well, because Infinite Warfare and Ghost got so bad of a reputation from the community and all that sort of stuff that I doubt that they would actually do something with them, even though I really want to see a Ghost 2 to basically get the full story of what happened in Ghost 1. But oh well, it is what it is. Hopefully it will be Ghost 2, and if not, I'll still look forward to it nevertheless. So now there is only 2 more things that I want to mention quickly. Overwatch also had a celebration for StarCraft 2, I think it was, or something like that, where you can sign into the game and get a free skin for Widowmaker, which I thought was pretty nice. And also some other Activision Blizzard game, I believe, that you can sign into and get something out of. But since I don't play them and only play Overwatch, I thought it was pretty nice to see. But that was Overwatch. Then Far Cry 5 also had a DLC plan trailer or whatever it was. I don't even know what they called it, but they pretty much showcased the DLC you would get for Far Cry 5. Obviously it has been announced before that, but they showed a trailer with it and all their plans after release that they would do with the Vietnam and Mars and also the zombie DLC being a thing. And then they would also add some sort of map creating tool, I believe, for Far Cry 5, and then have all kinds of different elements from different other Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed, I believe it was, probably some others, I just can't remember it. But anyways, that was Far Cry 5. And then the last news that I want to point out quickly as well is also Ubisoft related, which is The Division. And basically it was just like Black Ops 4, a confirmation that The Division 2 is happening, and we would be getting more info at E3. So there isn't really much else to say than that, but I really hope that they will improve from the first The Division game, because I really didn't like it too much. Solo wise, going into it, it was alright to play with friends and all that sort of stuff, but to me it wasn't really that fun to play solo wise at all, or even playing with strangers, because they don't know how to teamwork for some reason when I played with them every single time in missions and that sort of stuff. So I hope they will improve in the gameplay in some way. I don't know how, but hopefully it will be more interesting to play, and also hopefully there will be an actual story campaign with actual cutscenes and all that sort of stuff that is more interesting compared to the first game, if that makes sense, because I didn't really care too much about the story in the first game. Hopefully it will be better there as well. And yeah, the Dark Zone probably will be a thing again, and yeah, I think that should be it. I don't really know what else there is to say, because I barely played it after a few weeks when it launched, so yeah, I can't really say much. I've heard that it has improved slowly with time with all the updates and all that sort of stuff with the DLC, but at the same time I just don't really feel like coming back into it, since it isn't really really a interesting game that I thought was worth coming back into that much at the end of the day, going into it solo wise at least. So yeah, hopefully they will improve it and somewhat make it more interesting to play with the sequel. And the graphics, I hope it will be better, because I remember the really beautiful realistic reveal of it, and then with years going by, when they showcased a little bit more here and there at E3 or something like that, it just looked worse and worse and worse. Well, it just didn't look as I would expect the game to look like, at least. So maybe with the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X now as a thing, maybe they can squeeze some bit more beautiful graphics out of it with their Snowdrop engine. I don't know, but I still look forward to see what this sequel will bring at the end of the day in some ways, because I really liked what I saw from the reveal back at the day with the first game. But nevertheless, that was the news for last week and a little bit from this week, since it is just the start of it. So there isn't really much to mention currently as I'm recording this from this week yet. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will see you guys on my next one. And if the Counterspy gameplay still continues, then well, stick around if you want to and watch the rest. I don't know, but nevertheless, I hope you will have a great day.
Что это было? Тут кто-то есть!
Стоять!
Сержант!
Приготовиться к огню! подписался. Зачем ты на это подписался? Вы под атакой!
Убить его! Нарушитель!
О боже, о боже! Обыскать территорию! Устранить его!
Вражеский огонь! У нас тут происшествие! Одного убило у нас! Серега убит!
Здесь кто-то есть.
Покажись!
Стрельба!